just started. I was going through that phase of like a couple of years of suffering. So I never even shared this with you, but okay, so I shared this on my channel a couple of times, but I don't think we personally talked about it. But when I was about, like growing up as a child, I was really like big. I was really chubby. Kept getting fatter and fatter. Yeah, yeah. I'll show you a picture later. But
skinny as hell, man.
but like around 10th or 11th grade, I lost a lot of that weight. I was very committed. Like I over a summer, I lost like 70 pounds, right?
Whoa.
Lost a lot of weight, got very skinny, but at the same time, like my entire body went off balance, and so I got a spine issue at that time. Like I got herniated disc because I was also like I was doing so much lifting and like I was doing so much cardio every day, but I was not eating as much, literally. And so like my body went completely off balance, and at that time I didn't have nearly the knowledge that I have now, like in terms of even physical, also just spiritual. Like why do these negative events, like big negative events, happen? So at that time, like that was like a really long injury in my life because I just didn't know how to heal it, and it just wasn't like getting better. It was a big catalyst that like I didn't wake up to why it was happening for 6 years. Literally, that was a very difficult time in my life because I was always constantly in pain. I was like not doing the things that I really wanted to do because I was constantly in pain. So like even going through schooling and everything like that, even most of my college went like that. We're just constantly hiding and suppressing the pain too. Ooh. And so I got to this point of like such suffering because even because of all that limitation that I got from my injury, I tried to make up for it in other ways. So I was trying to be funnier with other people. I was trying to put on like certain masks. I was trying to
compensate,
make more money, like by securing that finance internship that was better than my peers who were also in like the business fraternity with me.
Uh-huh.
So I was trying to overcompensate for my weaknesses, the weakness that I felt within, the suffering that I felt within. And then I remember like getting to one winter where I just felt like complete shit. And I just felt like I was really contracted inside. I was not feeling good. I was not feeling good internally or externally. Mm-hmm. And like that's that winter that I came across the book Think and Grow Rich. Mm-hmm. At that time I was still very money focused, but that book opened me up in a way where it was like, it showed me that, oh, you can change your life. Literally by changing your mindset, you can create any change in your life. So I started waking up to that, and like that caused an instant shift in my health. I did have like other stuff too going on like that. I kind of got into Ayurveda and natural wellness and everything like that, but I was still asleep to it. So life kept trying to bring me these experiences to wake me up, but I just wasn't. And that magically came across that book. Still was very money focused, but then I started to apply this mindset stuff to my health. Mm-hmm. I started to like, go on the treadmill, even though I was like afraid. Because every time, in that phase, I would start exercising again, I would get in real big pain again. So I would just stop. Mm-hmm. So I was very afraid. And so when I started to put that mindset stuff to use, and I started to see instant results in the way I felt, how that pain actually started to like leave, and I was feeling more healthier and everything like that, I'm like, okay, this stuff is real. So I went all in. I went like all in terms of self-actualizing my life, like optimizing every area of my life. I started creating a morning routine, got very into the self-help, everything, started following all those gurus, like Tony Robbins events and everything. Mm-hmm. Eventually I got into Law of Attraction, Abraham Hicks, huge phase of my life as well. Then that's when I'm like, oh my God, spirituality is a real thing. I was like, all my life I thought these people were crazy and preaching all these like weird things. Uh-huh. I'm like, oh, this stuff is real. Eventually, as I'm practicing it, and I'm even like sharing it with I had a good college roommate, and we were both into this kind of like, something happened in his life too that kind of got him into this kind of phase in the same semester, and we were living together, and we would just feed off of each other's energy. That's and sick. We got like really good that semester. It was amazing. But then I kind of got more like spiritual. He kind of stayed on the other like self-help thing. But yeah, eventually I came across reality transurfing, which completely shifted everything for me. It literally like helped me understand on a deeper level a lot of these spiritual teachings, and so like it really clicked with me right away. That's why I also started wanting to like, I had a passion to teach too. One thing I learned recently, it's like you should never feel bad for trying to teach. There's a natural teacher in every one of us, and especially if you are waking up to this greater knowledge and like you through meditations, it's actually like your responsibility to teach the ones that come into your experience wanting to learn from you. And so there's a natural teacher in every one of us. Like I just started going on YouTube with these videos, and at that time I didn't have a crazy intention for it, but it just kept growing. My spiritual realizations kept getting deeper because I still had that desire, that passion to deepen that realization. that's like one thing I think that really has driven my entire evolution, is just wanting to go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So when sometimes people ask us, it's like, oh, you're so young, but you're so wise. That's literally why, because just the hunger for a deeper understanding means more to me than going out on Friday or like every single night of the week, or like, you know, a lot of the other stuff that normal human beings do. You know, it's just like, what do you really value in life? That's just what I started getting clear on.
Here we go on a Saturday night.
Yeah, this is a Saturday night, by the way. It's like 11 o'clock. So just like doubling down on what I truly valued in life, and then the results follow through that. You know, so that's like my journey up until now. Obviously, there's so much that like I didn't cover, but it's already too long. But like, that's like my thing. And I'm curious to know yours, because I know vaguely yours, but I don't know, like, you know, the past that kind of got you into this, because it's usually something very powerful that gets you into this.
Yeah, there's always like some level of pain that really propels you to all of this.
And again, pain is a catalyst.
Yeah.
Wake up.
And it also depends on how you use this, right? How you really put a definition to all of this experience you've had in your life. Like how you're perceiving all of the past. And, you know, when I share my story, it might make a lot more sense. But essentially, when I was in England, my childhood, let's say when I was from up until 12 years old, it was pretty good. I was like the cool kid in Bangladesh, you know, people liked me, blah, blah, blah. School, little factions there.
So you lived there till you were 12?
Lived there till I was 12. And when I was 12, I moved to Africa, in Côte d'Ivoire. I lived there for a year, but it was a little hard for me to adjust because I was the odd one out. You know, I was just like the only brown person in Africa. I was just like, hey, what's up? Want to be friends? It was hard. I was ostracized.
Yeah.
Same thing happened in England, because I just moved from Africa to England. And then I was ostracized again because I just moved from Africa. There was no one there. I was in the public schooling system. So there was no one there who was like me. So I just had to, you know, for the first, I would say 3 years, I was just completely picked on and bullied. I remember at one point I would have to give my lunch.
3 years in school?
Yeah. At that age, I had to give away my lunch to people.
No way,
Just
really?
to make friends. Yeah, just to make friends.
Oh
and
my
I have
God.
like these, you know,
I
the
only
7
heard of
days
that in
croissants?
movies.
The 7 days croissants, like the chocolate filled croissants.
Oh, yeah.
I would give those away to like this kid just to make friends with him.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like giving away your lunch money kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just depressed. It was like a really depressing time in my life, and I didn't have friends. I would just come back home. At one point, I would just go on Omegle. You know Omegle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just go on Omegle to try and make friends, and like MSN Messenger, like add people, stuff like that. It was just a dark time in my life. But anyway, it really woke me up more and more. But even at that point, I wasn't into spirituality. I had no idea what that stuff was. And up until I came to England, I just thought that everything was just fate. You know, oh, whatever's destined to happen will happen. And I had this friend who I would share and gossip stuff with, and we would connect on a deeper level. Like, what's the point of life? You know, just be depressed together. Just have someone else to be depressed with. It was like a fun thing to do back then. And for a couple of years, we would just like talk on WhatsApp. I would say like for 6-7 hours a day.
Wow.
We would just be on WhatsApp all the time, just like talking to each other and playing video games, staying at home. And you know, I just saw, what was the point of life? I can't really do anything. You know, it's just only the genius, you know, who are born like this succeed. Only the very few. And my dad was like a big like proponent of that idea. You know, he was like, oh yeah, fate. It's just fate. You know, if you're successful, it's fate. So that kind of got into my head as well.
And sometimes we're not even conscious of that. So it's like, if you don't know exactly what your beliefs are about reality, you're assuming a billion things that might or might not be true.
Exactly. And when I moved to the US, it got better. Like by the time, I would say, I had really bad teeth, by the way. So I had like terrible teeth, and I thought this was the reason why people don't like me, because they would pick me on my crooked teeth. I had like one tooth going like this, other tooth going like that. So people would like, whenever I would walk into the room, people would go like this. Like, oh, it's Quazi, look, it's Quazi. It was just like humiliating. But at the same time...
Kids are cruel.
Kids are cruel.
So cool.
But anyway, after I got braces, I would always just like unconsciously visualize myself becoming this person after I got braces. Like I was just like, oh, you know, once I get my braces off, I'm going to become this version of Quazi. It's going to be fantastic. Blah, blah, blah. And that's exactly what happened. After my braces got removed after 9 months, I literally became a different version of Quazi. Like,
wow.
Everything just shifted. And, you know, learning more about identity shifting, self-image, it makes sense now, but back then I just didn't know. I was like, see, better teeth makes a difference. And that's why a lot of people, when they get muscular and jacked, they get a lot of confidence. Because it doesn't really matter. People with crooked teeth still crush it in life. People who are short still crush it in life. But that's why, you know, once people get muscular, once people get a facial reconstruction surgery, they just gain more confidence and they just become a completely different person. As a result, their reality shifts as well.
Exactly, yeah.
So now, with that said, I became much more popular in school, and I went from literally, like, a completely unpopular kid to one of the most popular kids in school. I was like, man,
this is high school?
life. Yeah, this is high school. This is like, not even high school. It's
so
like a
lower level. States now?
No, this is in the UK.
UK, so.
So by the end of, I would say, the 9th grade, come to the US, start 10th grade, and I'm already cool here because my self-image is, you know, new. So now I have this accent, so people like dig it, like, oh yeah, this kid's from Britain, he's from England, blah blah blah. I was like much thicker back then, but did years grade 10, 11 here, went to college, and even in college, you know, I would come back in the summers, play a lot of video games. I'd still be in that mindset of you know, whatever's meant to happen will happen. I'll just go to the gym, you know, just be the best version of myself. That's it. I wasn't even fully into self-development. And then one day I was playing video games and it just hit me. I was like, what if I can upgrade that character in the video game in this life? Like, what if I can upgrade this character and achieve whatever it is I want to achieve? Is that possible? Started thinking more and more about that. And then I found out about the law of attraction through like YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
And then my life just changed completely. It's like, you can use your thoughts.
Because you got that desire. It sparked that desire in you, and then you're like, okay. And you just get that little taste. It's the possibility.
Once you get that little taste, nothing else will ever suffice.
Yeah.
You know, and then I started getting deep down into the rabbit hole, trying every single technique, blah, 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 reading books, getting deep down into it. And that's how my journey literally began.
Isn't it crazy when you're like, when it just starts and you are on that surface level and you realize your teachings, you're like, oh my God, my life is gonna be so easy from now on.
Yeah.
But it's like, it goes much deeper. Yeah. Like, it goes so much deeper.
It's like, I found out all the techniques. This is the secret. Just visualize. Like, when I first started reading Transurfing,
I was like, yo.
That's it. Game over. Game over,
I was
baby.
like, people have no idea what my life is about to become.
Outer intention, game over, baby.
And you know, like, as much as that would be amazing, if it was just like instant, you know, your life is exactly what you want it to be, like within a month, it really wouldn't. Like, I know, even let's just say there's a person super resistant to believe that it wouldn't be fun. If you really were to experience that for like a month, you would wake up to that fact that it's like, okay, now what? You still have more. You still want more. Your life could get amazing. You still want more.
You still want 1,000,001, million and
makes you realize it's like, what you really want more is that growth also, is that like expansion rather than just the stuff, rather than the recognition and, you know, approval and whatnot. So I remember that feeling though. It's like, oh my God, nothing's ever going to be the same. In a way, it was right.
Yeah.
In a way, nothing was ever the same. But at the same time, it's like, what really like, it requires you to grow and expand and cleanse all of your fears, your limiting stuff, everything that you don't want to face. So you want all this stuff and you want all this growth, but you're gonna have to go through literally one by one, or maybe a lot at one time, all your fears, all your, like, it's literally gonna push you out of your shell, and then you can start having the stuff that you want and be the person that you want to become.
Exactly.